Hello, hello, Scoops.
Back for more fun.
It's Twin Tuesday. Happy Tuesday.
And we are officially videoing this today. You are making us learn all the new skills.
Guys, for our first 2 episodes, it took us so long to just
Know
figure
that
out
the
how to
mics
turn
are
on the
plugged
microphone.
in.
So this is us praying to every god out there and crossing our fingers and toes and just hoping that the video
Leveling
works.
up. I mean, really, we're like, okay, Google how to start podcast, Google how to upload to YouTube. So we're learning all
We're
the new
not techies,
things.
but we will be techies.
It's good to have some motivation to learn new things.
Yeah.
We're just leveling up.
It's like you have to record this in a half hour. Okay, that gives me good motivation to do some Google searching.
And we had all intentions of uploading a video for our first episode, but we were like, let's just crawl before we run.
We had to be techie realistic, so here we are. First video recorded episode.
Yes.
We're excited to welcome you guys into our
Inside
Scoop space.
Yeah, and this is the 3rd episode. We're getting
We're
into
moving.
it at this point. I know. It's old hat by now.
Yeah, we're pros at this. I mean, we're pros at talking to each other, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Those of you that have already listened to the first couple episodes, something you know. And I think it's time to get into our ins and outs.
Yeah.
Kick it off.
Well,
I think I went first last time. I don't remember, but you can go first with your
I'm trying
in.
to remember. Okay, my in this week is Mexico.
Shelly, gonna be in the sun.
In 2 weeks, I will be in Mexico. I'm going to Guadalajara. And so I'm doing this for a concert series. And so I'm just so excited to be in the sun, get some good food, speak my Spanish, pretend that I've been practicing for months and necesito practicar más.
Well, especially after a day like today, because we can hear the wind howling.
Okay, it feels like it was supposed to be spring a month ago, and now
we're getting out.
we're Mother Nature we're not on her good side. So yes, Mexico. I'm just I'm so ready. It's going to be a lot of hard work because we're doing. So it's a really interesting concert where, for those of you who didn't know or are just tuning in, I'm a singer. Yay!
A little
opera, classical singing. But I'm working with a composer who's writing kind of like a children's opera that we're going to be performing in Mexico. And
so cool.
We're partnering with a puppet maker, creator, craftsman. I don't know. What do you call somebody who makes a
puppeteer?
No, but that's someone who plays with puppets.
Oh, right.
Puppet master. We'll say puppet master.
Okay. Puppet master.
And they're creating all these characters for the show.
That is so cool.
They're whittling all these little puppets that are going to go. I'm voicing all of them, so I have to change my character, do all that. So in Spanish. So
that's a lot.
It's going to
Buena
be
suerte. But how fun. I mean, getting to travel to do dream job work. That's the dream.
It's so funny because as a singer, it's you're either in chill mode in between gigs where you're doing nothing and you're trying to find motivation to practice a song or do whatever. And you're I'd rather watch some White Lotus.
I have to watch that.
Dude, don't even get me started. It's so good and weird.
I've heard people be this is extremely weird.
It is. I mean, even just season 1, and apparently it gets way weirder as it goes on, but yeah, you need to watch it. You need to watch it. I told you.
I mean, I feel like the references are everywhere, and people are oh, your outfit is giving White Lotus. I'm
she's yeah. What does this mean?
Yeah, when I was teaching, I mean, not that show is student appropriate.
I would say not.
But when I was teaching, I knew every movie that was in the theaters. I knew I knew everything that was going on. And now that I'm not teaching, it's just what is that?
You feel out of the loop, yeah.
Lego Movie 4 has already come out.
I rely on my voice students undergrads, so there's still I feel once you get out of high school age, you're slightly out of the loop, but they keep me with enough touch points that I'm oh, society, oh, pop culture.
Yeah, I definitely need to find a good channel to just on TikTok to be what is my pop culture references or things I need to know every day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I'm a little out of the loop.
Sometimes someone will say something to me, I'm oh yeah, huh? And then I look up what does Riz mean.
Besides watching Gilmore Girls reruns, I don't watch a lot of TV. I do watch The Bachelor. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law are super into it. So I started watching The Bachelor to have something that I could text them and be hey, what'd you think of The Bachelor episode this week? But then I got into it.
You and Andrew are really good at like not watching TV. Colin and I were always like, should we start a new show? Do we need to find a movie to watch? Like we like having movie or TV time as like a way to chill.
Yeah. I think it's because by the time Andrew gets home from work, it's like 6:30, and then we make dinner. It's like 7:30.
And you hardly have any time together. So you're like, let's just cut to the
clean
chase.
up. It's like 8, and then it's like, okay, I could watch half an hour of Gilmore Girls or watch a little bit of something, pause it, then have to get back into it.
Okay, the best thing though is that you've gotten Andrew onto the Gilmore Girls side.
He's a Gilmore
and
guy.
now he's the one who's saying, so should we watch some Gilmore Girls?
Yeah, now he's like, we should just decompress. Let's just turn on some Gilmore Girls. Like,
You're like, I've trained you well, my friends.
trained you
Yes.
so well. And oh my gosh. So there's one episode where they're like doing a race, and it's like, I know we're digressed. We'll get back on track in 1 second.
How do we always get digressed on Gilmore Girls?
Because it's a giant folder in my brain. There's one episode where Taylor says like big hole, or they're doing like a race, and so Andrew and I are walking around. He's like, big hole. I'm like, oh my god,
I've never been prouder.
He's been making Gilmore Girl references. I'm like, I've never been prouder.
I've never loved you more my whole life.
So
Anyway, what was it? Oh, that was my out. No, that was my in.
Your in was
My in is Mexico.
My in is matcha floats. So
Tell the scoops how amazing your matcha floats are.
I've
never had one, and Sarah made one for me. What, 2 weeks ago? And now every time I go over to her apartment, I'm like, I'm requesting a matcha float.
Obviously I'm a big coffee girl. But every spring I get really into matcha. Like it just like is the
It's
thing.
like light,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes you just want something light.
Yeah. So I got some matcha, and it's so easy to make too. Like just comes together so fast. So in like all over New York, there's these matcha floats, which is really just coconut water and matcha.
Weren't we at, wasn't it a Loft event or it was Ann Taylor that we met another influencer who does.
Oh, yeah. She owns her own matcha shop. And she was saying like how amazing it is to do coconut water and matcha, just like, especially in the middle of the day, if you don't want to have like a huge sink of milk. I was like, that's smart. So I've been seeing these matcha floats all over. Basically, it's just
What makes it a
iced-
float?
because the matcha like floats on top.
If you pour it right.
If you pour it right.
And when I pour it, it's sort of
I'm
like
saying. No. So you gotta put
It's a matcha sludge. When I
matcha
make it,
sludge.
Sarah makes matcha floats.
So you gotta, here's more like a slurry. A matcha slurry.
A slurry.
I don't know. But you just have
Market
to
that to Starbucks.
put enough ice that the matcha will like sit on top. Like pour it slowly, because if there's not enough ice, it'll just blend with the coconut water. So I think I have found the right balance, but then you just have to like bring it like over slowly. You're like,
So you're matcha Yoda now.
I'm attempting. Yes.
May the force
I
be
did
with
get a
you.
new kind of matcha this week. And
What kind? What makes a difference?
it's just a different blend. Like it's a different brand. And so I've been trying different ones. And then I was like, I can actually taste a difference. So I think I've had enough matcha in the past like month or two that I can taste. This one's like a little less sweet. It's a little bit more floral. So it's very interesting.
Nice,
But if you're into
nice.
matcha, I know a lot of people are like, what is the grass?
I didn't used
but-
to like it, but now I do. But I feel like
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be able to tell good matcha versus bad matcha, because even with wine, it's like, oh, I can really taste that this is the $80 bottle or this is the $8 bottle. I couldn't tell. Like when they do the blind taste test, they're like, now which one is the more expensive one? I'd be like, that one? I'm like, that's the $8 one.
I'm really bad with
I
it
have
too.
no- I
Like
have
for me,
no
I'm
palate
like,
for
oh,
it.
$10 bottle deal. And
Yeah.
it like does the job. Just want a glass. And then I'm not like,
But
oh,
now put me to the test for pastries.
yeah.
Give me some chocolate
Oh, yeah.
croissant. I'd be like,
Excuse me, the
That's-
lamination on that one is not appropriate.
that's the
Not
$18 chocolate croissant, and that
Oh.
one's 80 cents.
Yeah, I'd be like, this one's better. The lamination, I could tell, but not for wine.
Yeah.
Matcha, maybe. I'm getting there.
Well, you have to make me some of your new matcha.
I will. I've also been like puring the mango, doing all the things. So we're getting into it.
Well, on a similar like food vibe, my out this week is like overcomplicated dinners. I feel like in the winter, just as like a hobby, because like it gets dark at 4:30 or whatever. Like I need a project and I need something that's going to keep me like looking forward to it all
Yeah.
day. So I'm like Pinteresting it up. Pinterest is life.
You're like, the sun sets at 4, so that means I need something that I'm not going outside. I'm doing something.
Exactly. I'm gonna chop those vegetables for 2
Simmer
hours.
3 hours, done.
I got my new looker set too. So I was very into looking up not complicated recipes necessarily, but ones that like
Leveling
took
up.
a couple hours leveling it up, surprising Colin, being like, guess what's on the menu tonight? Like Sarah Leah, you know? But that has changed. And as it's become brighter outside, as I've gotten super busy prepping
You're
for this
so busy
concert.
with this.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I feel like I'm playing scheduled Tetris. I'm like, well, if I don't sleep for that extra hour or if I brush my teeth while I'm combing my hair, I can manage to do, you know,
When
it's
you
like,
wake up and your brain immediately is like, and the to-do list for today is 1, 2, 3, 4, then do this.
That's
Then you're
been
like,
my-
and dinner.
that has been my vibe for the past like month. So with that craziness, the complicated dinners have been like, you know, if Colin's like, oh, what should we do for dinner? I'm like, it's breakfast for dinner. Breakfast for dinner is like a hidden gem that I,
you
feel
can't
like
go
we
wrong.
forget about it. Like maybe that was something I did in college or high school or something, but now it is sourdough, obviously. Pancakes, because Colin always wants a pancake too. So I'm doing like a protein pancake
Pancakes are so easy.
with sourdough, carb it up. Eggs,
Eggs on the side.
a little fruit,
you
so
go.
I can pretend it's healthy.
There you go.
And then either like turkey sausage or some bacon or something like that.
That's perfect.
And when I tell you that I look forward to that all day,
Yeah.
I really do. It's like
It's nostalgic.
as
It's
I'm
delicious.
going like teaching, you know, practicing, running to
Yeah.
New York, I'm like, when I get home, I'm having breakfast.
I mean, you really can't go wrong. It's a win.
So my out has forcibly made me choose another in. And I'm not upset about it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, my out is, I guess I can say rude bartenders.
Wait, do I know this?
Yeah. So when you guys came to New York,
Oh my God.
I don't even think he was trying to be rude.
He was not.
But
he was just
so we're up at
oblivious.
the counter, and he's like, he said something, and I thought he said card when I asked for a drink. So I was looking for my ID, and I'm like, I can't find it. Okay,
You're like, obviously he
So
doubts my age. He thinks I look
gives
youthful.
me like an eye roll, goes away. And I'm like, okay, and I just couldn't see it because it was dark. So I finally find my ID, and I give it to him, and he's like, I meant your credit card. He's like, yeah, you definitely look over 21. I was like,
the audacity. The audacity. He wasn't no spring chicken.
are the wrinkles wrinkling?
No. He was not like an 18-year-old either.
I
like,
know, but the way that he like looked at me, it was just like, yeah.
You're like, no, it's just this lighting. I swear I do look under 21 in normal
But
circumstances.
then I was like, oh my God, yeah, right. But I'm used to just tapping. I'm used to tapping for everything. So when he was like, card,
I mean, that's like a natural response to getting a
he
drink.
looked at me like I was the dumbest person. Like, excuse me. Okay, now I'm offended.
He's like,
and I'm
ma'am,
embarrassed.
obviously you're 80 years old.
And Andrew always makes fun of me because for some reason, when we go into a restaurant, like with a server or at the bar, I always get like a little bit flustered. Like, I don't know why. I used to be a server and a host. So like, why am I getting flustered? I don't know. I'm always like, okay. And so then I was like, oh yeah, okay. Well, now I can't find my card because I'm also not used to pulling my card out of my wallet. I'm used to tapping. So then I was like, and then
But you can check my ID again if you want to.
Yeah, he did not want to. So
Check the youthfulness.
the rude bartenders are out, but
Oh.
what are you gonna do? I'm showing my age in the bar.
No.
This is why
Showing your beauty
This is why you should just drink tea
and life experiences in the bar. Believing in your youthfulness. There we go.
Sure. Should we dive into our twin take? Our twin
take. Yeah, I need
question
to,
of the
pull
week?
it up so I can reference.
I believe it was
It was share your worst fashion mishap.
yes, fashion mishap.
And by
Yes.
mishap, we're
Not
talking
a
like
malfunction, like
maybe even like a poor styling choice that you once had.
yeah.
Something like that. So we got some awesome submissions for this one. I'm going to share a couple of them. So one of you wrote in and said that wore my leggings inside out all day. Didn't notice until I got home.
Oh no.
I've definitely gone to like a 7 a.m. workout sweat my butt off, come home, realizing my tag is just like dangling in the back the whole time.
Like,
I'm
how
like,
do you know? How would I know?
and the worst part is that you probably like did the workout or whatever, thinking that, you know, you catch a couple looks and you're like, yeah, that's right. I look great today. The booty's popping. And then you go home and you're like, oh, that's why they were checking me out.
I once was at the doctor's office. Andrew was like getting allergy shots. And then this lady walked in and she had her leggings in backwards. But then you're like, do I say something?
Is it worse if I say something or is ignorance bliss here?
I think I did tell her and she was like, oh my God. And then like went and corrected them. But I was just like I'm so sorry. I think your leggings are that out.
Like, no, I like them that way. I like them that way. Let's see. I don't know if this counts, but I accidentally grabbed someone else's coat leaving a restaurant.
Oh gosh, that is my fear with like the communal hooks or like.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize until I got to my car and I had to run back. That's so. That makes me think of when you see you're coming out of the grocery store and you think someone else's car is your car and you're just like you're tired.
Oh
you
my
casually
gosh,
sling open the door and you're like, wait.
Oh my.
I don't have anything hanging from the rear view mirror or anything. You're like, oh.
Especially you're trying to go at the key and you're like, it's not opening. Why is this not? And then like,
hello. Why is this battery dead? Is this battery dead? And someone's like, that's mine.
Oh my gosh, that
bikini tops are not always reliable on water slides. All I'll say. I would love to know more about that one. That's all I could say about that one.
That just takes me back to being a kid. You like jump off the diving board or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh
my gosh,
adjusting my swimsuit before anybody sees this.
It's worse when it's like a new swimsuit too that you don't have proper back history about it.
Yeah, you're like, what's gonna happen?
Careful, because sometimes when like water billows up underneath it, that's when you got to watch out.
Yeah.
Like you got to have sort of like a prereq
when
with
you're
it.
Just like, I don't know what's gonna happen when I jump off the slide, but
went with my friends to the club. It was 2005, the club, and those tops that look like tunics and have that band around the bust were in. A friend accidentally sat on its hem, and I stood up.
Oh, I bet they weren't wearing a bra underneath there.
Definitely not.
Oh no,
definitely not. And I can just like picture that style top too. You're like, this is so amazing.
That was
so
the cool kind of like the peplum sleeveless top.
Oh yeah,
with some skinnies and some heels.
These are some great ones. I was flying and the soles of my shoes fell off while I was boarding. I duct taped them for the rest of the trip.
The soles?
Yeah.
How does that even happen?
Like, I guess maybe they came unattached.
Wow.
Did I ever tell you about, oh my gosh. Okay. So I was doing a concert in, I don't remember what it was. It was some Bach cantata thing. And I had been gifted a pair of like these vintage, beautiful heels. Like they were so pretty. I was like, I have to wear these for this concert. I look amazing. I have my gown. I'm getting ready to walk down this really long line, like processional into the concert hall. And I feel my heel do something weird. They were so vintage that the heel had dry rotted or like the sole. So the sole just came like completely detached.
Oh gosh.
And the only thing I had was bobby pins that were in my hair. So I like took a bobby pin off and just kind of like bobby pinned it together and just basically hobbled on the other foot down. It was a long, like think runway.
At least you weren't dancing or something.
I was like one of those runway models that has the huge heels and they're just
oh my gosh.
Like trugging along.
You hear of stuff like that for runway and stuff too, like people's heels falling off or
those models.
You know, they're like sewing up their dresses behind, backstage.
It's like the Sex and the City episode where they're like, you're just going to be wearing these underwears, these briefs. And she's like, but what about the fancy dresses?
Yeah.
What about everything?
What else?
Oh, that's so good. Let's see. At age 10, on the crowded playground at school with friends, I literally just jumped up in the air randomly and my pants fell down in front of everybody. It's those types of things that happen as a kid.
As an adult,
you're never going to forget them. You're never going to forget them.
1999.
Let's find one more. A few years ago, I was at the mall trying on shoes, bent down to pick up my purse, and my jeans ripped down right down the butt.
No.
It happened to be bright red underwear day. It's always bright red underwear day when there's a mishap.
At least if you're at the mall, you're like,
you're in the optimal place to
I'd like to buy some new pants, please.
Yeah, to like reset yourself up for success.
Wow. I feel. Do you have a fashion mishap, malfunction?
I'm like, that red underwear story is making me think about a personal mishap that I once had.
Oh no. Are you talking about in college?
Oh, you know. You know what I'm talking about.
That was painful.
So another performing.
Oh gosh, you perform long enough. You're on stage long enough. Something
You're in front of everybody.
Happen.
Something's gonna happen. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, there's so many weird performing mishaps I could go through, but this one in particular was an undergrad. I was asked to dance for some concert.
Yeah, what was it? It was a recital or something?
It was somebody's recital,
Concert?
but they wanted dancers who had done
dancing.
interpretive dancing, literally. And they asked me to do it, and I was like, yeah, sure, I can get my interpretive dance on. Yeah, I feel equipped to do that. Felt pretty good about myself. We were wearing all black, so it was like black long sleeve kind of like leotard, and then black leggings. It was also a crazy time, so I had like forgotten that morning what we were supposed to be doing because we had left our costumes like in the theater. And so we got there and they're like, oh, don't forget, like today is the dress rehearsal for the concert later. So I was like, oh, I guess I don't have time to go home. So
as you are in college.
So as you're in college, yeah, you're just doing a million and one things.
I can fit it all in.
I was like, got ready, put everything on, did the dress rehearsal. Great. Went to the concert, felt fabulous. We had like a really long period of time where it was like our backs were turned to the audience. We were doing like long kind of sweeping interpretive gestures.
Yeah, I remember
I was
this
getting really
I was
into
in the
it.
audience. I was not on stage for that one.
I felt so hot. I was just like, yes.
Nailed it.
I've never looked better in my whole life.
All black interpretive dancing.
And then the next day, I went to my voice lesson with my teacher. And she's like, Leah, I need to talk to you about something. And I was like, okay. And she's like, I didn't know if I should say something, but I just had to. She was like, I enjoyed your performance yesterday. But I have to say, everybody in the audience, including myself, could see your bright red underwear the entire time. No. And I'm like, what? How is that possible?
I don't remember why I didn't tell you.
I don't know, ma'am.
I think I was just like...
You're like, what's done is done.
Yeah.
What's done is done.
She can't remember.
No need to say anything. She's like, yes. And I just have to say, mental, like remember this, because anytime you have a performance in the future, just wear some neutral underwear. And I'm like,
oh my God.
The most mortifying conversation, plus me thinking back on how long my butt was to the audience.
It was
just
a very long, interpretive dance, backwards. Like, look at just the flow of our legs and our see-through leggings, why leggings were such a thing when we were in college.
Leggings were life. They were a staple.
Like, why
were bae.
do they even come up with leggings that are sheer enough? Plus being on stage, like those stage lights.
I'm like, nobody during the dress rehearsal noticed the red undies. Maybe they just liked it, but that was my...
And then you see people after the concert and you're like, they're smiling at me.
So red underwear girl, I feel you. I do. I feel you.
Yeah.
What about you? I feel like you don't fashion faux pas.
Mine.
Not really.
I have been lucky enough as a teacher that
I have been lucky in life.
I did not have any that I know of fashion mishaps in front of my students. But I did recently, this is kind of like fashion malfunction adjacent. It has to do with clothes.
Fashion malfunction adjacent. Okay, side memo. Anyone who uses the word adjacent, I love you immediately.
Really?
Like somehow, if you just throw that in, I'm like, clever.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm glad to be on your good
so
side.
I love you more. I don't know why. Continue.
This was recently. Andrew and I were flying, I don't remember where. But wherever we were flying from, I had just taken a backpack. So I just kind of like shoved everything in my backpack. And my bag got pulled. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, whatever. My bag does not usually get pulled, but I was like, fine. We've got plenty of time. So the guy starts going through my bag. And I was like, oh, I bet it's my clothes steamer. Because I remembered I forgot to dump the water out. So I was like, that's probably what it is. And so he's digging. I'm like, oh, I bet it's that. Like, that's my clothes steamer. Like, I think there's water in it. So he pulls it out. But there's like on the cord, there's like a Velcro little strap that you can like wrap the whole cord around.
Oh, yeah. We have the same steamer. I know just what you mean.
Yeah. So it's, it's like the twist tie version, but Velcro. And so he pulls it out and attached to the cord with that little Velcro piece, my dirty underwear Like not fresh.
Oh no.
Dirty underwear is attached because it's like the Velcro, right? So
And if you're like me, you kind of like clump together your dirty underwear when you're traveling
that
because you
was-
don't want it to be like.
that was one trip I had forgot to bring like a dirty clothes bag because it was just for like it was like one night.
So what did he do?
I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I'm like freaking out, and he's like moving the clothes steamer. I don't know whether he didn't see the underwear or he was just pretending he didn't, because it was like
I think man was
bunch
trying to give you the
of
ignorance
underwear.
is bliss moment.
And I was like, excuse me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I must remove this underwear. Like I was mortified. I was like, this, oh my god. I
Okay,
was
but
freaking out.
like in your defense, think about all the weird stuff that TSA agents must witness. Like
yeah, they're probably pulling out.
strange things on couples retreats.
Yeah, handcuffs, little
Ye-
fluffy.
You know, grown men carrying around stuffed animal. Like there's all sorts of things.
yeah.
And that's probably putting on the very mild side.
It probably is, but I was like, and then I was like, oh my god, what about everybody else that's like standing around here? He's like holding it way up in the air. I'm like, my underwear, and I was like, oh my god, I just need to like, can I please just like, and then he put it away. I was like, oh my god.
But the underwear stayed attached the whole time.
Stayed attached.
Okay, that's some good Velcro. That's some good quality Velcro.
I immediately, as soon as I got home, I cut that Velcro strap off because I always just wind the cord around the steamer.
feel like we cannot have this happen again in the future. I cannot survive one of these.
So that was mine. Yeah.
Okay. You know, that seems like a you appropriate fashion faux pas.
Yeah. I was like, wow.
Like karma was just not on your side.
Glad I forgot my like intimates bag, and then on top of it, like, oh, of course it's a guy TSA agent, and
Classic.
I was like, all right, but live and learn. now I had a story to share for this, so luckily I think that's the only really bad one that's happened. I did like, yeah, I think that's all.
Well, you're better than the rest of us then.
Yeah, I've never had like a heel fall off or anything like that, so. Knock on wood. I'll be walking around New York and then that'll happen to me next since I said it hasn't happened. But
Well, should we look at some of the questions that have gotten into our DMs this week?
yeah, thank you to everybody that has submitted DMs. You guys are amazing.
Your DMs give us life. Like they are, some of them are
truly-
so funny. Some of them are really thoughtful.
And we love that they're not all just fashion. Like we are looking for
looking for a variety
everything.
for sure. Like
life, family, sister drama, like whatever. We're just ready to work drama.
basically, if you have a question, if you're thinking about something and like, I wonder what other people think, write us.
Yeah,
Why
and
not?
they are all anonymous.
Yes. Yeah.
All anonymous.
We're not going to be like Crystal K from San Francisco wrote
My
this about her
husband.
sister-in-law. Your name's Kelsey. You know, if you're out there listening.
Yeah, no. We are in it for the story sharing, but not the shaming or highlighting.
No.
Anyway,
This is a confidential space. Confidential space. All right. Question 1. I'm starting my first big job next month as a school counselor. I got married, finished my master's, and then took a year off with my first child, so haven't been in a full-time job since undergrad.
Oh, congratulations.
That's
That's so
awesome.
big.
Any advice, fashion or otherwise, for starting a new job with confidence?
Oh.
I feel like, all of us go through that at some point, right? Where you're like, you've been working at a place for a while and then you make a job change, or
Yeah.
then you take some time off and then you need a job. Like, and you always want to have a good first impression.
I can see where it would be hard when, you've gone to school and then, you're like ready to launch, you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going through like, looking for jobs. And then it's like, okay, pausing, like getting married, doing like all these great life things, having a kid. And then you're like, well, I want to enjoy being a new mom. And then you're like, okay, time to go back to work. But you're like, I don't remember what that mode feels like
Exactly.
of being in student ready to launch mode, because I feel like that's a lot of people's story right now. Like,
Oh, yeah.
maybe,
And I think we all kind of went through that with COVID too.
yeah, we're all like,
Is that
wait,
we're
how
all
do
like
we-
sitting around like,
how do
wait, I can't live in my stretchy pants.
I do remember like my first time back in the classroom. Afterward, I was like, it's been a while. Since
Yeah.
I've been from these
I mean, in terms of like outside of fashion,
outside of fashion,
which we'll get to, but I do think like part of just starting a new job is like psyching yourself up. It's like
fake it, fake it till you make it.
literally pretending like you know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
even when you don't. Not saying like don't feel like you can ask for help or advice, but walking in with confidence. Yeah, we were listening to a podcast and they were saying embody what you feel like a 10 level confidence is. And I'm
10.
like, that is such good advice of like, if you were to see somebody out on the street and you're like, wow, her confidence level is 10, be that. Like, just be like, I'm taking on the role, confidence 10. Okay? Maybe confidence 9.
Wanna be
first
on
day, right?
top.
Yeah. You're America's Next Top Model, baby. Like, literally just get yourself into that headspace. Look at yourself in the mirror. I do this before I like go on stage a lot. I'll sometimes record videos to myself.
Oh, really? That's a good idea.
And just be like, hey girl, hey Leah.
Hey, girl.
Today's a big day. I know we're nervous. But you got this, bitch. You know, like you are beautiful. You are confident. You know what you're doing. It's a little scary. And I'm proud of you for doing something new and different.
Yeah.
And somehow like seeing yourself face on, I think is like special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good
So
idea.
it's something I do. But yeah, I think, just being like confidence level on, like turn up the dial.
I think it's also good to remind yourself that, even if you're working with people that are maybe younger than you and they've been there and you're like, I knew like these people are younger than me, but like they've got more experience than me. Like everybody started new at some point.
Totally true.
And they hired you for a reason.
Yeah.
Like they want you to be there. They want you to succeed. And it's okay to make mistakes when you're starting. Like you are learning. There is a learning curve.
And literally every single person has imposter syndrome when they first start.
And telling yourself like, I will learn more and progress more in the first couple of days that I'm doing this than like the whole time that I've been thinking about this and worrying about this. Like
For sure.
I will learn more. I'm just gonna whoosh and feel so much more confident. Like looking back, if you're like 2 weeks from now, I'm gonna feel so much better about this.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say a lot of it is just psyching yourself up, even being like, when I make it through this whole week, I'm going to like get myself a massage, or like I'm going to go to the bookstore and get a book I really want. Just like giving yourself a little nugget at the end of it too.
Yeah. Like finding a way to reward yourself for doing something outside your comfort zone, something new. Cause that's a huge deal.
Yeah. And telling yourself like, I'm taking a risk. I'm doing something new for me, like for my family. And like I'm being a boss. I'm going out of my comfort zone. I'm doing this.
Yeah. Now, fashion-wise, hair flip.
We'll work fashion. Pick yourself out a killer outfit for that first day.
Yes.
Like whatever you feel is just, you're just gonna walk in and be like,
Yes. Yeah. I think that first day outfit is like something that you feel like feels like you. Whether it's like I love yellow, put something yellow on there, babe.
Yeah. A shoe,
but wear something comfortable.
yeah.
Like make sure it's not something that you're gonna be sucking in your tummy the whole day. Make sure it's not something that's like
gonna hurt by the end of the day,
or you're pulling out the one pair of shoes that you've only worn once. Like
no.
Like make sure that it's gonna be something comfortable, because you don't want to be worried about that.
Absolutely not.
But something that you feel killer in.
yeah. So, like something that just makes you feel so confident. A dress, a really sharp blazer, whether it's like a red lipstick too, that you're just like,
it could be something that simple. Like maybe you're just wearing, maybe you're wearing a black dress, maybe you're wearing a regular suit, but you love that red pop of lipstick, or you love this necklace.
Yeah.
Do something that you feel like this really pulls it together.
Yes.
And I think if that's like, okay, even that is a lot, like I don't even know where to start. What I would do, because you and I don't work in like the corporate world, or like, I'm not really sure what your job is that you're going on for. I would literally go on TikTok or Instagram or Pinterest and just search like teacher outfits,
work
or corporate, and there's going to be influencers, there's going to be other people styling corporate looks, and just be like, oh, I love that.
Save the ones you really like.
Come up, like take some screenshots, save them if it's on Pinterest, make a folder or make a pin board, and then just kind of go through and be like, oh, I already have all the things that, try them on, have a little fashion show. We love a fashion show.
We'd love a fashion. Take pictures so you're like, oh, I remember this outfit.
Growing up, we would always do fashion shows when we would like go shopping, come home, style it all. We would come home and
wait. We need to give you a fashion show about all the stuff that we got.
They'd be like, wait, fashion show. And still, when we're hanging out with Mama Scoop, she'd be like, I got these couple things. I'm not really sure.
Like,
I'm not really sure what I want to do with them. We're like, fashion show.
them on.
So we all like get on our mom's bed and we're like, oh, pair this with this, pair this with this. And then she'll walk in.
And she's like, I didn't even think
And then we're
about
like,
that.
wait, let me take a picture of you. Okay, now you can save it so you remember everything.
Mama Scoop.
We love a fashion show. Get yourself a fashion show. Get a friend to go shopping with you. A lot of it is literally just how confident you can psych yourself
a
up.
little spritz of a perfume that you love, as long as your work is
Yeah, maybe not perfume, just because a lot of works I feel like are.
yeah.
Though I love a good perfume. Perfumes, to me, like
Just a little
they make you feel so different.
And I know for a lot of people, like getting a manicure or something before.
Ooh.
I mean, I don't know if you're a secretary, just a little, so then your fingers look all cute when you're typing on your computer.
But something that's going to make you feel like you're walking in your best self.
Whatever makes you feel like your best self.
Yeah.
That's-
And
yeah.
eat some breakfast that
And
morning.
you said it's not until next month, right? So
yeah.
you've got some time to shop, save some things on Pinterest.
That's exciting.
Good luck. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, that's so exciting.
That's amazing.
You got to write us back and let us know how that first week went.
Yes.
Okay, question number 2 is a good one as twins. So, personal question. Do you two ever fight? I ask. We don't.
No, we
No.
never fight. We've never fought in our lives.
I wouldn't even know where to start to
joking.
fight with her. Like, how would I even start? I ask because my sister and I are always fighting,
Oh my gosh.
even though we're best friends. I can't even imagine how much we would argue if we worked together every day like you girls.
Well, sometimes sister fighting is a form of love.
It's because it's because you know they're gonna love you no matter what, and we kind of take that for granted. I think
Yeah.
we're like,
Yeah.
whatever, I can say all the mean thoughts, and I can't believe you couldn't read my mind, but I'm just gonna say it because you're my sister, and I know in an hour you have to be my best friend anyway.
Yeah, you're like, you can't like say,
You can't turn your
breaking
back on
up.
me.
You're like, I'm your sister.
Yeah.
So
There's a weird
to
safety
answer
net around it.
first part of the question, we do fight, but usually it's over really stupid stuff. Like I'll bump into you and we'll be crabby
and
like,
one of us will be saying
"Water!"
ow, and one of us will be saying sorry at the same time, and it's like, ow, sorry. I'm like, gosh. And then it's fine. Or
it's when we get hangry.
it's always the hangry.
It's always
I'm like-
hangry.
I'm like, God, eat a croissant or something.
yeah, we're like, okay, we're gonna go take
Do you need a snack?
a few pictures.
Who needs a granola
And
bar?
then we're like, it's cold. I'm hungry. I just want a croissant.
Like you need a Snickers was
Yeah.
created for us.
Yeah. Except it's
Seriously.
like you need a coffee and
Yeah.
a baked good.
So I feel like when it depends on what your situation is when you're always fighting, like try and see what the situation is. I think of like, oh wow, it's always when we're shopping together. It's always when we're in the kitchen together. You know, like maybe there is a pattern. For
Yeah.
Sarah and I, we noticed when we were when we were doing long distance, and I would fly to Sarah, we were always on like a time crunch.
Yeah. So we felt the constraint.
We felt
were
felt
like,
really stressed and really like rushed all the time. And we're like, God, if we don't get this isn't going the way we wanted it to, and now we're stressed out, and now we're bickering, you know, just like nitpicking
not
at
at each other. It would be just like we're
This-
stressed.
The
Yeah.
situation would make us like say unnecessary things.
So I feel like sometimes with sisters, you get stressed or you're like letting out your emotions sideways at your sister because you know they're still going to be there for you at the end of the day.
Yeah, instead of just being like, the situation is really stressing me out. Like, can you have a little patience with me today? I think so something that I've thought of when I'm feeling in a cranky mood and I just feel like I want to unleash on Sarah.
We just want to unleash. The claws are out. You do not let
No,
go
no.
like that.
No, but when I want to say something a little like snippy or a little like biatchy, right? I just think, how would I, maybe your partner, maybe this doesn't work for you, but I'm like, if Colin were asking me this, how would I respond to him? Because sometimes my
why do we give our partners so much more kindness?
we give them
than
so
our
much more
sister?
grace. And I'm like, God, Sarah was annoying so much
Like,
today.
Really, you left your socks on the ground. Really.
Right,
And
but
then-
if Colin left a sock, I'm gonna be like, ooh, Mr. Stinky left a little. You know, I'd be like, wow, somebody couldn't find the hamper. Okay. Or maybe just not even say something. So
I'm like, oh,
so that's one thing that I've told myself of just like,
how would I?
or like pick a person in your life that you're the most patient with. Like maybe it's your best friend. Maybe even though you said your best friend's just like pick another friend, or maybe your mom. See, put yourself like try and catch yourself right before you say the snippy thing or start fighting. Just like, could I pretend I'm talking to somebody else? Just like kind of tailor my response.
It diffuses it. Yeah. For some reason. So yeah, we don't. The question was, do we fight? Right.
It was like advice on how to not fight with your sister, because she was saying that I can't imagine how much. She said, do you two ever fight? Because I asked, because my sister and I are always fighting, even though we're best friends. Can't imagine how much we'd argue. Yeah. Also, I think assume, like, give your sister the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
So in any situation, if it's like she she's coming over, she made herself a cup of tea and just left the tea bag sitting on your counter fully wet, goes to like sit at your dining.
This is not personal experience because I have never done this.
No. Sarah prioritizes tea, as she already told us, especially if it's matcha. But like she left, the wet tea bag right on your kitchen counter. She, threw the wrapper on the ground. The wrapper's on the ground. Then she went to go sit at your table. Okay. Benefit of my immediate reaction, maybe yours, would be, hello. Could you not find the garbage can?
Do not respect my house.
Like, wow, this is my house. I would never, and that immediately starts a fight. Say, okay, benefit of the doubt. Maybe she was in a rush. Maybe there's something on her mind. Okay, just be like, hey, would you mind just putting this tea bag in the garbage?
Yeah.
Or just asking her, hey, anything on your mind or whatever, instead of immediately diving into the fight. Yeah.
Yeah. It is so easy with sisters, like you said, because they're going to be there for you no matter what. To have the claws just come out because you don't really feel like you need to hold back all the time.
That's such a good.
You know what I mean?
You don't really feel like you need to hold back.
You're like, I see your true colors shine.
That's what happens when you don't hold back. They're like, wow, I see who you really are, which is a bitch.
No. But Leah and I, we only fight for like 10 seconds and then it's over. And we're like, I'm sorry too. Yeah. But it is way more like those 3 or 4 seconds of like it is way more intense
than anybody else.
Why do we fight?
But I think most people will say your siblings can really pull that from you more than anybody else. It's because they've known you your entire life.
And they have so much dirt on you.
They got so much dirt. Oh, I could spill some dirt on Sarah. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Not this episode.
It's like siblings. Yeah. Stay tuned for episode 29. It's like, when your siblings has one thing and you're like, really? You're pulling that one out? Because remember for the past 5 years and you're like, stop,
when you were 10, you picked your nose in front of the mailman, right? You're just like, you had a booger wall, or whatever. Like,
but for working together, like sometimes working together, because they said, wasn't it like, I don't know how you guys work together.
She was saying like, yeah, I can imagine how much fighting you must, like how hard that would be.
Yeah, even though sometimes work, because we are kind of working around the clock, like nonstop often, it is also so nice to have someone that is equally invested in our work, because like it's a twin job. It's a shared
twin venture.
A twin venture. And so as opposed to like hiring someone to help you, it's like we are both in this. Like we want to both be successful. So even though sometimes like we get snippy with each other, it's also like there's also a lot of moments of gratitude where we're like, it's so nice to have someone else. Or if I'm having an awful night and I know even if we had fought that day and I was like, I'm sorry, I just feel awful tonight. Can you please do, X, Y, or Z? I know even if we had been fighting, you'd be like, I got you.
But a key point in that is your honesty and like allowing yourself to just be vulnerable, speak the truth, right? Instead of being like, can you do this? My response would be like, that's your job, right? Instead, you would open up and say, I'm having a really stressful night, or Andrew really needs my help with this, right?
I've got a migraine.
I'm just really not feeling the best. Could you please do this? And I immediately want to help, right? It's when all the pieces aren't together and when we're not really being fully open.
Because they said they're best friends. Like your sister's often your best friends with your sister.
Yeah.
And so it's like you are there for them.
Yeah.
Like you would do anything for them, even though you might fight with them too.
And so if you notice, sometimes fighting is inevitable and sometimes people are more arguable, right? Some people that's just like some people, tendency, right? So if you find that maybe there's not a way around all of your arguing, then try and counteract that with as much appreciation as you can.
That's true. Throwing in like I'm so grateful you did this can so easily diffuse
it. Or prevent. You can help prevent forest fires. You can help prevent future arguing by just saying, hey, thanks so much for giving me that soda. Thanks. Or like, thanks so much for lunch. That was awesome.
Like, I'm really glad we get to spend time together.
Or like, this is so much fun. I'm really glad
you're like, fine, I'll throw your tea bag away.
Yeah.
You don't even ask.
Or she might just be like, oh, crud, I shouldn't have left that tea bag on the counter. I was hoping she'd find that one. Yeah. Hope she would start an argument.
Yeah. Some people do. They elevate. They're just ready to like speak it out.
Ready. Yeah. I mean, some people show their love in form of argument.
It's true.
They're like, let's let emotions out.
Let's elevate this. That was a good one.
Okay, let's take one more question. Last one. Let's do this one. Okay. I work a 9 to 5 and honestly get so tired after I clock out that I do not prioritize self-care as well as I should. Girl, feel you. What are some tips and tricks to adding some self-care into my busy schedule?
That is I feel like all of us late 20s onward, it's the life things keep stacking, right? Because when you're in college, like you've got school things going on that keep you busy, but then it's like, I want to do all these things and be successful at work, but maybe you have kids at home, or maybe you're trying to date, or maybe you're trying to like play a sport as an adult or do something outside of your 9 to 5. And you're like, how
am I going to do that?
How do I balance it? And there's a word, I don't remember what it is, but it just popped up on TikTok where it's the stress you feel from knowing you don't have enough time. There aren't enough hours in the day to do everything that you want. I forget. There's like,
time starved.
And maybe that was it.
My life coach, another story, talked to me about being time starved, and that is like a real sensation where you're just like, there physically does not exist enough time for me to do everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's as the responsibilities keep stacking, and like I said, if you have kids, you come home and it's bath time, meal time, get everybody ready for bed, and then maybe you have an hour for yourself.
You could easily have no time for yourself. You could easily do everything and give yourself no time.
Yeah.
I say, like, if you're having the busiest time of your life, even on a regular time, treat yourself like you are we told this to Mama Scoop too. Treat yourself like you are a must do every single day. So it's like, if you know you have to make breakfast every single day, you put that on your calendar, you put that on your schedule, write in what you are doing for yourself. Pick a half hour, whatever, but schedule it. Schedule that might seem like the most lame and like unfun thing to do is like schedule your fun. But like
schedule fun. No.
Sometimes it's necessary just to get yourself like on track of doing that. And I think also showing that you're prioritizing yourself. And if you have a partner, tell your partner,
this is my 30 minutes. You're watching.
But say, I need you to help me. I need you to help me. I'm feeling very time starved. I'm feeling really like unappreciative and I'm not prioritized. I need you to help me. I need a half hour every day, or every Tuesday. I need to go, get myself a burger. And that's how I feel appreciated. Okay. If they help them, let them help you achieve that goal too.
Yeah. Having people in your circle help you achieve.
Yeah. Could be a sister, could be a mom, could be whoever.
Someone to help you be accountable that you're doing things to help yourself.
Yes, it is.
I would say also, and Andrew is an expert at this, like truly.
I already know what you're going to say because he's an expert.
He will
habit stack,
which, okay, if there's something you do, this is actually a really great tip. If you wake up every morning and immediately you get out of bed and brush your teeth. Okay. So you're going to add something that you want to do to that habit that already exists. So it like reinforces because you do the new thing right after you do something you always do. So get out of bed, brush your teeth, and then maybe you're like, I really want to read for 5 minutes. Then immediately do that.
Like tiny goals. Tiny habits.
That's what I would say would be a second half to it. Habit stack. So attach something new that you want to do to something you already do. Whether it's I wake up and the first thing I do is I scroll Instagram. Okay. Instead of doing that,
Or scroll Instagram for half the time. Do something
Yeah.
else that you want to do with the other half the time.
But with habit stacking, let's give like another example. So
Because
like,
habit stacking isn't replacing a habit,
it's
right?
not replacing, it's adding to an existing. So say you're like, I get out of work every day at 6 and then I immediately drive home. Maybe you get out of work at 6 and then in your car, say you're like, I want to learn a foreign language. You're like, I get in my car and I do my Duolingo for 10 minutes
Before I start the car.
in the car
Yeah.
before I drive away, because
That is what I do at the gym. I get out of the
building it into
gym,
your routine.
go into my car, open up Duolingo.
There you go.
Do my
Okay,
5
see, I didn't know you did
minutes
that.
of French, because once I get home, I forget.
So yeah, so when you're attaching it to a habit that already exists, it's like it's more readily on your mind.
It's digestible.
Yeah,
It's
and
achievable.
The second half that we said, start small. So Andrew, like I said, is an expert at this. He will be like, so me, for example, I'm like, oh, I really want to work on my abs, like, you know, for spring or whatever. I'm just giving an example.
Get that summer body
I
going.
really want to like focus on my abs. So I'm like, I'm going to do an ab workout every other day for the whole month.
And then Andrew will go, do you really think you can achieve that? Do you really
I'll be
think
like,
you're going to do that?
I absolutely will. And then I'll do it like once.
Yeah.
He's
They're
like,
like, how's that going?
he'll be like, I scheduled in reading 2 pages twice a week. I'm like, 2 pages? You could totally read like 10. You could totally read like 15. And he's like, 2. Because this is kind of like, I learned that this is a thing that they do with Candy Crush. That game that, do you ever play
Candy Crush.
So they build in from the beginning like easy levels so you feel that gratification and then you don't get frustrated and quit. So the same thing, if you're like, bing, I read my 2 pages, bing, I read my 2 pages,
You're like, I could do 2 more.
then you're
If
like,
you want to.
yeah, and then if you see, okay,
I like that.
I'm reading these 2 pages, it's not stressful, like I've easily kept this in my routine for a little bit, then you add a little bit more. And that, like, Andrew, I don't know, he is so good at this, like,
I'm in awe of that man.
small goals over a long period of time.
Yeah.
Because truly, and I don't know, he said this, he's like, it's better to do a little bit over a long time than to like go big and just do it like once.
Yeah. Start small.
Which is so true. So
You just
say
put
maybe,
one foot in front of the other. Ba-da-ba-da.
Name that too. But if you, let's say you're like, I really want to work out. It's not part of my routine. I don't know how to do this.
You're not going to do it by saying, I'm doing it every day for the next month. You might be a rare.
Yeah. You might go totally cold turkey and just like, you know, switch gears, do a complete 180, but probably be more likely to be like, okay, I'm going to do a 10-minute workout once a week. Now, if you said that someone, they're like, oh my gosh, like I could totally do more than that. That's like not enough at all. Well, let's see if we can keep that up.
Can you do that for a month? Okay, now let's up it.
Yeah.
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 So same thing happens, like, and that's not just to be productive, but you can use that in the same sense of something that you're doing to treat yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you're looking to
Start
add
small.
something,
Start small.
Start small. And I would probably say start with like, write down if you're looking to do something like maybe the top 1 or 2 things that you are like, this will make me feel like I'm taking good care of myself. Like 1, exercising those 10 minutes a week or, you know, and then 2, like, I don't know, reading. Yeah. Reading, adding more reading to my life. So pick something small, pick like the top priorities and go from there. But better
And
to
call
start
in,
small.
phone a friend if you need help maintaining that goal.
Yeah. Make a friend help you be accountable. Like, hey, you want to be my reading buddy? Can you call me tomorrow at 6 and we'll like read, you know, drop everything and read.
Oh my gosh. That was something we did in elementary school. It was like they would call home.
That a 90s kids thing?
Drop everything you read. They would call home on the landline, obvi, and then be like, hello, Miss Brisky.
No,
Are
it
you
was at school. They'd come over the loudspeaker and be
No,
like,
but they would do. Oh, they did get caught reading. That was when they would call. They would
that's
call
what it
you,
was. That's
call
what it
you
was.
at home,
Yeah,
call you at
yeah.
home, and be like,
forgot about that.
"Our Sarah, hello, this is Miss, you know, Clark. Are Sarah and Leah at home reading?" And then
about
Mom
that.
would be like, "Grab a magazine, And you're
No,
like,
we were probably reading because
for the most part we were reading.
We were big
but every once
readers.
in a while I'm like, I am reading that sign over
I'm
there.
reading the cereal box.
Yeah. We're like, I am reading Rice Krispie, Rice Krispie, Rice Krispie, Rice. Just like,
Why, yes, they are, in fact, reading like little angels.
Find those like tiny pieces that you can achieve.
But no, that is something everybody is struggling with. How do I do the things I have to do and fit in the things that I
want to get out of life, want to do
and need to do to make myself like take care of myself?
Yeah, exactly. And you can only give to others when your battery isn't empty.
Yeah, it's true. Because I think we've all experienced when our batteries are empty, and then you just start fighting with your sister, right?
Not speaking from personal experience at all.
Oh, well, I think that wraps up our episode.
Yeah.
We made it. Hopefully this video will end up on YouTube.
If this video ends up on YouTube, chef's kiss.
We're like, let's just do it.
We've accomplished so much.
So thank you for making it to episode 3. We cannot wait to see you next Twin Tuesday.
Yes, come back and visit us on The Inside Scoop.
And if you want to submit questions, you can send us a DM to the Inside Scoop podcast. We'll be checking for messages there. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.